Initially, it would be administrative. And if you receive a complaint on an officer, it has to be checked out. It doesn't have to be, per se, the individual that was involved. So the arrestee doesn't have to make that complaint. I had internal affairs training in the West Virginia State Police. I conducted some internal affairs investigations while in the State Police. So it has to be looked into. What people need to understand is that an internal investigation can turn criminal during that process. But that would have to be looked into and investigated, and I would call that administrative initially. There's some things that I would have to, Mr. McCoy would be able to answer some questions that I have first, but if elected sheriff, are there video cameras in the vehicles? A lot of police agencies now are going to body cameras. I'm not for sure that they have any of those yet. I do know at one point in time, I believe they had some video cameras, but it needs to be checked into, and you need to look at all resources, camera equipment, other witnesses, and things like that. But it would need to be looked at administratively initially.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy.
Could I get you to repeat the question for me?
Certainly. Let's consider the following scenario. You've received information from what you regard as a very reliable source that one of your deputies has possibly used excessive force while making an arrest for a minor violation. But no complaint has been filed against the deputy by the victim himself or herself. What immediate action would you take, and would you handle this situation as a counseling session, strictly as an internal administrative investigation, possibly leading to suspension or termination, or as a criminal investigation?
Well, I think a lot of that would have to be determined by the victim. Obviously, if the victim or alleged victim doesn't want to come forward or doesn't want to pursue anything, it somewhat limits you on what action that you can take. If there's an allegation of such misconduct, obviously that is something that we're going to look into that. It's not something we're just going to let pass by, particularly if it comes from what you refer to as a reliable source. So our first step would be to speak with the officer. We'd also speak with the victim of that and see what all the circumstances are surrounding that incident. Depending on where the incident took place, comment was made about cameras in the vehicles. Some of our vehicles do have in-car video, but at this time we currently don't have the body-worn cameras on the deputies. So as far as video evidence, it would obviously depend on where the incident took place and what potential witnesses are available to the incident. But I guess to answer your question, it would be something that we'd have to look at the whole picture and see if it's something that could be handled administratively, or if it would happen to be something that would turn into a criminal matter, then we would proceed with that in that fashion.